Programming language. The process of writing instructions using a computer language is known as programming or coding. Similarly, set of characters and rules known as syntax that must be adhered to by the programmers while developing computer programs. We know natural languages such as English, Hindi, Tamil have set of characters and use some rules known as grammar and framing sentences and sentence statements. Similarly, set of characters and rules known as syntax that must be adhered to by the programmers while developing a computer programs. History of programming languages. Ada Augusta Lovelace, a companion of Charles Babbage, was considered as the first computer programmer in the history of programming languages. Wrote a set of instructions to program an analytical engine designed by Charles Babbage. The various programming constructs were the various programming constructs were wait, the various programming constructs were implemented in this programming language with the help of Boolean algebra. During the 1940s, machine languages were developed and low-level programming languages. Machine languages were developed to program the computer system. The machine languages, which used binary codes 0 and 1s to represent instructions, were regarded as low-level programming language. The instructions written in the machine language could be executed directly by CPU. These languages were hardware-dependent languages. During the 1950s, assembly language, which is another low-level programming language, was developed. The assembly language used the concept of mnemonics to write the instructions of a computer program. Mnemonics refer to the symbolic names. Assembly language programs could not be directly executed by CPU of the computer system. Grace Hopper, an American computer scientist, started working towards the designing a compiler called A20 and in the year 1957 developed a high-level programming language known as Mathematic. In 1952, another programming system known as Autocode. In 1957, another popular high-level programming language known as Fortran, formula translation. Fortran was developed by John Backus and his team at the International Business Machines (IBM). Algorithm language. Some other high-level languages that evolved during this era were list processing (Lisp) in 1958, Common Business Oriented Language (COBOL) in 1959, and ALGOL 60 in 1960. In the year 1964, Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code (BASIC). Simula 1, Simula 67, ALGOL 68, and APL. Procedural Programming Language Pascal. Dennis Ritchie developed a powerful procedural and block-structured programming language known as C. IBM developed Structured Query Language (SQL). Fourth, Smalltalk and Prolog. The language of this period used a modular approach for designing large-scale applications. Some of the high-level programming languages that evolved during this era include ADA, C++, Perl, and EFL. Java, VB, and C hashtag. Important high-level programming languages of this era are Java, VB, and C hashtag. In 1914, machine language, machine-dependent characteristics. In 1914, which was the programming language, that was machine language, which was machine-dependent, faster execution, difficult to use and understand, more prone to error, directly used by executed by CPU. Machine languages were directly um, executed by CPU. That is the reason that were faster execution. Their faster execution and more prone to errors as well. In 1950, assembly language, which is also machine dependent, and it used mnemonic method and faster execution and more prone to errors. In 1950 to 1970, Fortran, Lisp, COBOL, Algol 60, Basic, APL. These are high-level languages and these are less prone to errors, while the low-level languages were high more prone to errors. High-level languages are less prone to errors. In 1970 to 1990, C, C++, Forth, Prolog, Smalltalk, ADA, Perl, SQL, very high-level language, highly portable. These languages are highly portable as well. In 1990, the programming languages are Java, HTML, VB, PHP, XML, C hashtag. And these are internet-based languages, object-oriented languages, and more efficient. Generations of programming languages. There are 5 different generations: first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation languages. 1GL, 2GL, 3GL, 4GL, and 5GL. First generation machine languages. These are low-level programming languages, and programs written in the machine language are directly executed by CPU. The operation to be performed, like plus, minus, multiplication, division, percentage, these are opcode, and data on which operation to be performed is operand. So operand is data. The opcode part of the machine language instruction specifies the operation to be performed by the computer system, and operand part of the machine language instruction specifies the data on which operation to be performed. So, however, the instruction format of any instruction in the machine language strongly depends upon the CPU architecture. An advantage of first generation programming languages: translation free and can be directly executed by the computers. And these languages are hardware dependent and thus they are non-portable. Second generation assembly languages, slow as and these are low level programming languages. Concept of mnemonics for writing programs, it is uses. So it is machine dependent and it cannot be directly executed by the CPU of the computer language. Assembly language is not directly executed by the CPU of the computer system. Assembler is a translator programmer. Assembler is a translator program that converts the assembly language program into the machine language instructions. So assembly language instructions converted by assembler into machine language instructions. Assembler acts as intermediary between assembly language program and machine language program. Programs developed in these languages are not portable as these languages are machine dependent. Third generation high level languages. These are machine independent languages, and the most of the third generation programming languages was procedural programming, which is also known as imperative programming. In the procedural programming paradigm, a program is divided into a large number of procedures, also known as subroutines. And COBOL was designed to solve a large number of problems related to business field only. And programming the third and the later generation of programming languages were not directly executed by CPU. High level language program, compiler or interpreter, and change into machine language program. So compiler translate the whole program into the machine language program before executing any of the instructions. Interpreter executes each statement immediately after translating it into the machine language instruction. If any error is encountered, the execution is halted after displaying the error message. Following are the some of the popular third generation programming languages. Fortran, Algol, Basic, COBOL, C or C++. Programs developed in these languages are highly portable. Independent program. These are machine independent programming languages. Memory requirement of the programs written in this programming language is more as compared to the programs developed using the assembly and machine languages. Fourth generation very high level languages. The process of developing software using the third generation programming language required a lot of time and efforts that affected the productivity of a programmer. During this generation, the concept of database management system (DBMS) also evolved tremendously. Since fourth generation languages are non-procedural languages. Following are the non-procedural languages, fourth generation language, and also uses the concept of DBMS. Some of the fourth generation programming languages: uh, Power Builder, SQL, Xbase++, CSS, Cold Fusion. Highly portable as compared to the programs developed in the language of other generations. As compared to the programs developed in the programming languages of previous generation, the programs developed in the fourth generation languages are executed at slower speed by the CPU. Fifth generation artificial intelligence languages mainly focus on constraint programming. ANN is widely used voice recognition system, image recognition systems, and industrial robotics. ANN means neural network that used to imitate the working of the human brain. Following are the some of the fifth generation programming languages: Mercury, Prolog, OPS 5. Characteristic of a good programming language: Language must provide necessary tools for development, testing, debugging, and maintenance of a program. All these tools must be incorporated into a single environment known as integrated development environment. Categorization of high level languages. High level languages based on design paradigms, based on application, commercial, scientific, social purpose, special purpose, general purpose, and based on design paradigms, procedural oriented, logic oriented, object oriented. It is procedure, logic, and object. While based on application, these are commercial, scientific, special purpose, general purpose. Okay. So the categorization based on application. Commercial languages. COBOL is the best example of commercial based high level programming language for business. PL given B oblique B, scientific languages. Fortran is the best example of the scientific based high level programming language. Special purpose languages, for example, SQL is a high level programming language special designed to interact with database programs only. General purpose languages. Various examples of general purpose high level programming languages are Basic, C, C++, and Java. Categorization based on design paradigm. Procedure oriented languages. Program is written as a sequence of procedures. Various examples of procedure oriented languages are Fortran, Algol, C, Basic, and ADA. Logic oriented languages. In this programming paradigm, predicate logic is used to describe the nature of a problem by defining relationships between rules and facts. Prolog is the best example of the logic oriented programming language. Object oriented languages. Problem is divided into the number of objects which can interact by passing messages to each other. Encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and modularity. C++, Java, and C#* are the examples of object-oriented programming language. Popular high-level languages. Fortran, Lisp, COBOL, Basic, Pascal, C, C++, Java, Python, C#. Fortran is a science and engineering domain. John Backus at IBM. Fortran 2nd, Fortran 4, Fortran 77, Fortran 90, which is approved by the International Organization for Standardization, is more portable, reliable, efficient. Fortran can be employed finding solution of partial differential equations, predicting weather, solving problems related to fluid mechanics. It has a powerful built-in library containing some useful functions which helpful in performing complex mathematical computations. Lisp AI. Lisp list processing was developed by John McCarthy in the year 1958, handling data as a functional programming language for handling data structures known as lists. Lisp, MacLisp, dot inter Lisp, Lisp, MacLisp, interlisp, JetaLisp, and Common Lisp. Used for the research in the field of artificial intelligence. Good features of the Lisp are recursion, that is, programming calling itself is possible. COBOL, developed for the business domain. COBOL 68, COBOL 74, COBOL 85. Characteristics of COBOL: portable and easily maintainable. It does not implement the concept of pointers, user defined data types, and user defined functions, and hence is simple to use. Basic beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code, microcomputers, and home computers during 1970s. Visual Basic Microsoft's Visual Basic adds object oriented features and a graphical user interface to the standard Basic. These include Altair Basic, M Basic, GW Basic, Quick Basic, Turbo Basic. Pascal Nicholas Worth. The programming paradigm employed by Pascal is procedural programming. The various operating systems such as Apple, Lisa, and Mac. The Pascal compiler has strong type checking capability. C. Dennis Ritchie and Brian Cunningham at Bell Telephone Laboratories, developing the application as well as system programs. Block structured and procedural. It is also block structured and procedural. The first major system program developed in C was the Unix operating system. C is a machine and operating system independent language. C is also regarded as a middle language because it contains the low level as well as the high level language features. C++ is a general purpose object oriented programming language developed by Brian Stottrap at Bell Labs in the year 1979. It is also regarded as the superset of C language. Mm, The several object oriented programming features such as classes, virtual functions, operator overloading, inheritance, and templates. Some of the most significant characteristics of C++ are as follows. Like C, is also a machine and operating system independent language. It follows a modular approach of developing the programs for different types of applications. The programs developed in C++ can be understood and maintained easily. Java is an object oriented programming language introduced by Sun Microsystems in the year 1995. However, it is regarded as more powerful than C++. Java is the most dominant object oriented programming language for developing web based applications. Java programs are not directly compiled into the native machine code. Instead, an intermediate machine code called bytecode is generated by the Java compiler that can be interpreted on any platform with the help of a program known as Java Interpreter. Some of the most significant characteristics of Java are enumerated as under highly object oriented and platform independent language. The programs written in this language are compiled and interpreted in the two different phases in two different phases. Python. Python is a high level and object oriented programming language. Python is also regarded as the successor language of ABC programming language. Some of the salient features of Python are it is an interpreted and object oriented programming language. The syntax and the semantics of this language are quite clear and concise. It is a platform independent language. Platform independent. Okay. C hashtag, pronounced as C sharp, is a new object oriented programming language developed by the Microsoft late in the 1990s. It combines the power of C++ with the programming ease of Visual Basic. C hashtag was specially designed to work with Microsoft's Net platform launched in 2000. It is object oriented visual programming. Factors affecting the choice of a language: purpose, programmers' experience, ease of development and maintenance, performance and efficiency, availability of IDE, error checking and diagnosis. So purpose also become the reason of choice of any language. For example, COBOL, the purpose business oriented programming language, and Fortran scientific oriented language. And AI field can be developed efficiently in the Lisp or Prolog programming, and middle level language, that is C, should be chosen, and some object oriented language should be preferred for developing web based applications. Programmers experience: more programming language is available for developing the same applications. So with the compromise for this comfort level, as per his comfort level. So programmers should choose a language as per his comfort level. For this, the programmer can also compromise with the power of the programming language. Ease of development and maintenance. Ease of development and maintenance. So in this, the object oriented languages are preferred over the procedural oriented languages because the code developed in these languages can be reused and maintained with great ease. So means object is preferred by procedural. Performance and efficiency. And availability of IDE. IDE, integrated development environment, of well supported development, debugging and compilation tools should be preferred. A powerful IDE helps in increasing the productivity of a programmer. Check Error checking and diagnosis. So error checking and diagnosis. For example, Java provides an efficient error handling mechanism of try-catch block. The try-catch block in Java programs can be used to handle the unexpected errors that may occur during the execution of a program. Developing a program. Low-level programming language, machine-dependent languages, machine language and assembly. Okay, low programming, these are machine-dependent, machine and assembly language. High level language, machine independent languages. Machine language, low level programming language in which instructions are specified in terms of zeros and ones only, directly executed by the computer system. Assembly language, concept of mnemonics and low level programming language. Assembler, convert the assembly language into the machine language. Interpreter executes each statement immediately after its translation before procedure. Opcode specify the operation to be performed, and operand specifies the data on which the operation is to be performed. The second generation programming languages used the concept of mnemonics for writing computer programs. An assembler is a software program that converts the assembly language program into machine language instructions. Computer and computer or the software program that can be used to convert the high level program. Interpreter. Compiler and interpreter are the software programs that can be used to convert the high level programs into the machine language programs. Fortran is good example of scientific oriented high level programming language. Interact with database management. C++ uses the object programming paradigm for developing programs for various applications. What is programming language? It is a language that instructs the computer system to perform a certain action. A person who uses programming languages to develop programs is usually known as programmers, who was considered as the first computer programming in the history of the programming language. Ada Augusta Lovelace. Which of the following is low-level programming language? Machine language. Machine language programs are very efficient because they are directly executed by the CPU. What is machine language? Machine language. It is language of zero and ones. Which of the following domain is best suited for Fortran? Engineering and scientific. Who developed the SQL language? Microsoft. Who was the inventor of C programming language? Dennis Ritchie. Which of the following is a part of machine instruction opcode? Which of the following languages is considered as second generation languages? Assembly language. Which of the following program is used to convert the assembly programs into machine language? Assembler. Which in which generation were database languages developed? Fourth generation. What is full form of Fortran? Formula translation. Which of the following is not a program paradigm? Data oriented. Which was who was the developer of Pascal? Nicholas Wirth. Which of the following operating system was written in C? Unix. Which of the following paradigm is employed in C++? Object oriented. Which of the following errors are detected by the compiler? Syntax errors.